Well, hello guys. Yeah, you're probably looking at this like, what's this? What the heck is this? Yeah, it's not a miniature game, is it? Yes, I have put down, I even got a little plexiglass here, all that stuff that these hex and counter players use, you know. I even got some little, these are cheap old tweezers. These are actually for when I was building models, but I bent in the corners on them so I could grab them and all that stuff like those hex and counter players do. And anyways, what you're looking at is these are quick games here, mini series games, folios, whatever you want to call them. This is Molino Del Rey. And if you're a history buff and all that, you would know this deals with the Mexican-American War back in the 1840s, mid-1840s or so. I have a friend, his name is Jeff. We call him Jeffy, or he has a YouTube channel called Hex to Hex. And I've been harassing him about how he pushes cardboard, because these little counters, chits or whatever you want to call them, are cardboard. And you just push cardboards around these pieces into these hexes and stuff, and movement and all this. So they have little numbers on here, and I'm learning all these numbers on the counters and stuff, you know. And then there's these yellow ones here. So if something happens to one of the units, it's usually a disruption, or they retreat and disrupt it, and so forth. But anyways, I decided to pick this one. I picked up one called First Saratoga, and I had it. It was just me and the guys there, and they were kind of helping me through it. And I got real tired towards the end of it. It was late at night. It was like 1 in the morning or whatever. And and then I thought, you know what? It doesn't look too bad. It's only 40 counters. It's not 200 or 300 or 2,000 or whatever. And I thought, you know what? I have no clue what I'm doing here. And I thought, well, let's just dip my toe in the water here with these little 40 count ones. And they're supposedly minutes to learn, quick to play, and historically accurate. So here you go. That's the one, Molino Del Rey, Gateway to Mexico City, 8th of September, 1847. And supposedly there's a game of this of a battle before this, and it's Pedregal or something like that. So I might look for that and all that, because I do like history. I'm just not that big time into the history. But yeah, and and you guys know I live in Arizona, so I'm in the Southwest desert and all that. So this kind of appealed to me with Mexico and and all that. So. And then here on the back, it shows you Molino Del Rey. It's a 2-player. It's a level 2 regiment, whatever that means. And then the hex scale, they says 352 yards. Playing time is supposedly 1 to 2 hours. The complexity, they put a 1 dot. So it's like very, very, very low and easy to learn, supposedly. And then in solitaire, it gives it 4 dots on there. So it's high. So you can play this as a solo game of this. The map is 11 by 17 terrain map, 40 die counters, 4-page rule booklet, which is what I love also, because I notice these guys get like serious thick rule books for your games, and I'm like, that's one of the big turnoffs for me, is I'm not going to sit there and just read and read and read and read and read and not be able to play. Or I play and then I read for another hour what the heck I have to do, and then play for like 2 minutes and then look back. I don't want to do that. I like the 4-page rule book that they have here, plus scenario instructions. This is a musket and saber quick play. It's the game system, and they give you the mini game system rules here, an introduction, and tells you all the numbers on the counters here. You got your combat factor, which you only use 1 dice, 6-sided dice, all you're going to use, so a D6. Your morale factor and your movement allowance. That means this infantry is this unit type here. And the formation means that he belongs to all the units that have an E or whatever. That's what this counter belongs to. And then the ID, like the leader of this infantry or whatever. And it has the little codes here, the little diagrams. This is infantry. Cavalry has the little slice of pie kind of thing. And then obviously cannon for artillery. The movement allowance means you can move six what we call hexes freely or whatever. The morale factor is to see if they run or not when they're being attacked. And then combat factor means they have a 6. That means you add up those combat factors. So if there's like 1 here and there's 3 of these guys, you add up each one of those combat factors, and then you go and you subtract it by the defender or whatever, and then they have a chart, which is going to be on this one, the quick play scenario, Molino Del Rey. This is an introduction. It tells you how to set it all up with the U.S. and the Mexican Army, and then alternative Mexican setup. You know, it gives you all that. Game league first player tells you that the U.S. starts first on this one, and then on the back, it's they have the combat results. You use a D6, so you roll a 4, and say you have your combat factor is 6, and the other one has a 1. So the difference is a 5. So you roll a 4, and then you go to the +5, +4 to 5 right here, and it'll tell you, give you this code here, DMDR. Well, you come over here, and you look for it. It'll be a DR, since there's a DM, which is a route check. So you got to roll the morale factor, and if they failed, if the MC passed, apply parenthesized result, which sometimes they'll have a result there to show you what they need to do or whatever, but what you have to do after that, you know. So there's a little system, how you step by steps, how you have to do it. Supposedly what I'm told is you get really used to this real quick. And then all these hexes, like some of them have a square for a bastion, an obstacle, and then impassable, and then rough. And it tells you what happens in here. You know, cavalry may not enter or attack into. Infantry stops on entry. Attacker halved attacking. Their attack level, their combat factor is halved if they're attacking into this. Artillery cannot go into the rough at all, but they may bombard it. So, and then you have your town, and it tells you about what's the advantages and disadvantages of each one of those. So, all that. And so, anyways, I'm just giving you guys a little introduction of how we're going to do this. I have this all set up here. Can't zoom in on this, but there's some of that rough right here, these boulders. Well, you can't set the artillery in there. That's what it says in the rules. You can't do it. And to set it up, you have a leader here, and what it tells you is you can set these up within 2 hexes of the leader. So I was able to go 1 hex, 2 hex, and put artillery there with some infantry. Same here, same there. And then they told me to put the cavalry right over here. Now, when I set up the Mexican army, it says you could feel free to put whoever in this area here, in this bastion, in a Molino Del Rey. So I set up a cannon over here, thinking, oh heck, you're going to want some cannons over here, and so forth. And then I told you to put the Mexican cavalry down here. So, but there's you see this little the obstacle here. I'm not going to go this way. I'm going to ignore these guys. Now, if you stay on the road, it's you get 2 moves per. It's a half a move allowance, so it'll be 2 for 1 on the movements. So they'll be able to race right up here. That's fine. I don't care. I'm going to take my cavalry and come in here after this artillery, and we're going to come in here and focus on this. They're going to come up here because that's what I would do. Obviously, I'm going to have them hanging back here. I mean, don't want to watch your brothers get killed. And I'm just going to start bombarding here with my infantry coming in here, because the objective of this one is, if the U.S. could get this hex and this hex of Molino Del Rey, they win it. And then for the Mexicans, if they just could fight them off, and we can't get there, then they obviously win. And that's the minor victory. There's a major victory in here. The difference in this game is this only allows, if you play the regular game as is, it's only 3 turns. You only have 3 turns to do all this, to get in here. Now that's your turn chart here. So you got the T for, so your first turn, and then you move over here to your second turn when you're ready to do that. Now you probably see these little red X's up here, and these are all cannons, and they're all protected by barriers or whatever that they have, or obstacles, or whatever you want to call it. So now, if I was able to get through here with ease, then you have an option to flip this over, and it says extended turns on this thing. And that means is you could do a full 8 turns. What you have to do within those full 8 turns is to knock out 2 or 3 of these cannons, and that gives you an epic victory. And this is the road to Mexico City. So obviously, if you know the history, Winfield Scott, the general, whatever, he literally got into Mexico City and forced the Mexicans to sign the Treaty of Guadalupe, and that was to create Texas and stuff. So to get that land grab of Texas and all that. So, anyways. this is interesting here. So I'm looking forward to actually playing this, and I know Jeff is just biting down the lip wanting to see me how I do on this. So I told him to make an intro video, and this is what this is. It's an intro video, and I will do a video on turn 1, and we'll go that route. I'm not too sure how to video this because I never did a Hex Encounter game video. So any of you Hex Encounter guys out there, hey man, be easy with me. Don't be rough. I mean, I have no clue what's going on here, okay? And I don't need the historical, you know, whatever, blah blah blah. I'm going to try my best to do this the way that the rules tell me how to and all that. So looking to be fun here, and if you got any advice, whatever, I'm all for it. Just be kind. All right, this video is running about 10 minutes here. So look forward to the next video be turn 1 and maybe turn 2. I mean, it may be seems to be a quick game here. So, but I'm letting you know, I am not giving up miniatures. Miniature wargaming is my love. It's my hobby. I'm just dabbling in something a little bit different here. It's always nice to try something different and see what it's like. And I think I might enjoy doing these little mini-series games because it's short and sweet. I don't know how you guys play those 200, 2,000 counter games. No, I know for a fact that I'm not into that. So anyways, but alrighty, this will be added to my YouTube channel here, and you're going to start seeing a little bit of Hex Encounters. You're probably not going to see too much. I only got about 4 or 5 of these games, and we'll go from there. So thank you guys, and I really hope you guys are enjoying your hobby and getting some painting and some gaming in, and you know, dude, spend time with your families. So if the wife wants you around, go hang out with her. So anyways, and your kids. So you guys take care, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.